A very good evening and welcome to Prime TV News on the last Wednesday of the month of Jan. I'm Ishara Nautun. Let's get started with your headlines for the day. Health authorities urged to refrain from rounding false information on corona. CID records a statement from Ranil Wickramasinghe. The Attorney General calls on the Speaker. Ranjan Ramanayake further remanded. Trump releases long-awaited Middle East peace plan. And now for the news in detail. First in local news. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa commended officials for initiatives taken to manage the challenges raised from coronavirus in Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister also urged social media networks to act responsibly in reporting trends. The Ministry of Health and Indigenous Medicine has issued clear guidelines to all health officials on all aspects of the current situation. A meeting was held with the senior officials of the Presidential Secretariat, Prime Minister's Office, Ministries of Health, Education, Tourism, Foreign Relations, Immigration and Emigration, Postal Services, Fisheries and Disaster Management. The Prime Minister appreciated these initiatives and preparations. Minister of Health Pavitra Vanniarachi explained the steps taken by health services implemented in Colombo and outstations to identify the possible patients. It was also stated that Sri Lanka's request to bring 33 families of Sri Lankan students from Wuhan to Sri Lanka on the advice of the President will be approved by China. Sri Lankan Airlines has offered a 50% discount on flights to Sri Lankans in China. The Criminal Investigation Department has obtained a statement from former Prime Minister Ranil Wickramasinghe regarding the terrorist attack on Easter Sunday. It is reported that the statement has been taken at the UNP headquarters, Sirikota. Former President Maithripala Sirisena had also made statements regarding the Easter Sunday attack. The CID also took statements from Rashad Badiuddin, Rauf Hakim and several other parties. Attorney General Dappula de Oliveira met with Speaker Karu Jayasuriya to discuss the future course of action regarding High Court Judge Gihan Pilapitiya. The meeting was based on the matters discussed at the Constitutional Council regarding the order given to arrest Gihan Pilapitiya. When the Constitutional Council convened under the patronage of Speaker Karu Jayasuriya, attention was drawn on the Attorney General's request to arrest Gihan Pilapitiya. As a result of this order, there was much talk about the judiciary and its dignity. Accordingly, it was decided to call the Attorney General to the Constitutional Council and inquire about the matter. MP Ranjan Ramanayake was further remanded until the 12th of next month. The order was issued by the Gangodawilla Magistrates Court. Ramanayake, who was remanded over the controversial audio recordings case, was produced before the Gangodawilla Magistrates Court today. According to the leaked audio clips, he is accused of interfering with the judicial activities. While the case was being heard, MP Ramanayake told the open court that he wanted to make a statement. In his statement, he said he would not pressure any witnesses. He said that the judges were not pressurized and the judges spoke to him and he did not speak to them. Ranjan Ramanayake said that he has 124,000 audio recordings and a certain media channel is distorting several selected clips out of them. He said he's a member of parliament and wanted to go to parliament in every 2 weeks. He also said that he was able to use his mobile phones and meet with anyone using his parliamentary privileges. However, he said he would not influence any witnesses. The judge said the same statement would affect the witnesses as it was against the granting of bail. Accordingly, he was further remanded. Former Minister Partli Champika Ranawaka's driver made a confidential statement in the official chamber of the Colombo Additional Magistrate. Ranawaka's driver issued a confidential statement in connection with the incident in which a youth was injured when a car MP Ranawaka was travelling in collided with a motorcycle in Rajgiriya. The second suspect is Dilum Thusita Kumara and the first suspect is Partli Champika Ranawaka. The suspect made a confidential statement for about an hour at the official chamber of Colombo Additional Magistrate Kanchan Niranjan de Silva. Meanwhile, two Navy intelligence officers who were accused of intimidating witnesses of the case of of abducting 11 persons at a press conference were remanded till day after tomorrow. The attorneys at law who appeared on behalf of Aruna Tushara Mendes and Kasturige Gamini denied the charges. He pointed out that Inspector Nishanth De Silva, who was the chief investigating officer of the case, and another witness had fled the country. The Colombo District Development Committee meeting was held with the participation of a number of ministers and MPs. The Colombo District Development Committee meeting was chaired by its chairman, Mr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. Ministers Bandula Gunawardena and Dinesh Gunawardena, State Ministers Susil Premajanta, Gamini Lekuge and Tilanga Sumatipala, and Colombo District Secretary Sunil Kannangara were also present. The issues related to the livelihood of the people as well as the program to uplift the common amenities were discussed. The Navy has apprehended 11 fishers along with fishing trawler belonging to them for poaching in Sri Lankan territorial waters. The Navy has been conducting regular operations to prevent illegal fishing practices and wide-ranging illegal activities taking place in Sri Lankan territorial waters. Accordingly, the Navy on routine patrol seized an Indian fishing trawler poaching in Sri Lankan territorial waters off the Delft Island. The 11 Indian fishermen aboard were also taken into naval custody. Meanwhile, the apprehended Indian fishermen are due to be handed over for onward legal action after a medical test. Steps have been taken to renovate the Kakadupata Beach Park in Matakulia and Westhead with the public. The Kakadupata Beach Park was built when incumbent President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was the Secretary of Defence then. The public park used to be fully crowded. However, due to lack of proper maintenance and management during the last 4 years, the beach park was deteriorated. With the President's ascendance to the power, rebuilding process of the facility has already begun. The Viadmag organization is implementing the project with donation from private institutions without using government funds. Minister of State Janaka Vakumara states that steps will be taken to expand cashew cultivation while providing relief to cashew growers island-wide. The Minister of State made this statement when he met some cashew growers. Many people in Makevita, Nadagamoa and Gampaha are relying on the traditional cashew industry, and the Cashew Corporation has established a cashew processing centre in the area. State Minister Janaka Vakumara, who inspected the centre, said that in a survey it was revealed that there were about 4,000 employment opportunities in the cashew industry in the area. The minister further stated that the government will take steps to restrict the importation of cashew in order to protect the local cashew grower. The chairperson of the Cashew Corporation, Sarangi Ratnayaka, also accompanied the minister. Minister Douglas Devananda launched the Avaraliya Rural Fisheries Women's Organizations project. These organizations are set up with the objective of encouraging women of the fishing families for self-employment. The launch was done at the Madampe Cooperative Hall. More than 2,000 women from Puttalam district participated in the event. Minister Douglas Devananda stated that steps will be taken to establish the Avaraliya organizations in the Jaffna and Hambantota districts as well. State Minister Mahindananda Aludgamage states that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has decided to approve the implementation of the power plant projects through open tender procedure. The Electricity Consumers Association stated at a press conference that during the last government, the purchase of 50 generators from India had been a fraud. Accordingly, the current government has decided to make the purchasing process transparent. Meanwhile, the water level of the Mausakale and Castlereagh reservoirs had dropped drastically due to the prevailing dry weather condition for about a month. With this, the electrical engineers say that it is a problem to supply water for the Laksapana, Navalaksapana, Canyon and Vimala Surendra power plants to generate hydroelectricity. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ishara Nautana. Stay safe. Good night.